guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Andrea and I have a really fun topic for you all today. So I've been wanting to make this video since like forever and I'm finally here. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about my experience with my version of a dopamine detox. And I'm pretty sure y'all have seen this all over the internet, everyone doing their dopamine detoxes and just all the benefits they've received from them. And I'm just here to talk to you guys about my experience and what I've learned from it. So for those of you who don't know what dopamine is, it's a neurotransmitter and it's the feel-good hormone. So basically it's a chemical released in your brain that makes you feel good. It plays a really important role in your brain's reward system and just kind of reinforces any behaviors that make you feel good. For instance, when you eat junk food, you're releasing dopamine, and this is why it's just so addictive because it makes you feel good. So that's the reason why after one slice of pizza, you go for another one. Too much dopamine can just lead to a lot of unwanted addictions. And something I've noticed is that a lot of dopamine tends to be associated with like a poor lifestyle. I noticed that when I'm focusing a lot of my energy and time into things that release a lot of dopamine, for instance, being on my phone, maybe listening to music all the time, I'm distracted from the things that I'm supposed to do. And, you know, everything's about balance, but I'm an extremist. Like, I don't like having a balance with things. Like, if something bothers me, I tend to just eliminate it. And this whole little dopamine detox thing just sounded like a good idea to me. So what is a dopamine detox? So obviously you can't eliminate dopamine from your life entirely. This is just an overgeneralized statement. But basically, in my version of a dopamine detox, I just stopped doing the things that give me a lot of pleasure. So let me explain. I decided to do a dopamine detox because I didn't want to be dependent anymore on all these addictive behaviors that I had, like being on my phone or listening to music all the time. So basically my goal was to become less addicted to these things because I feel like in a way they were kind of holding me back from doing the things that are actually important to me. Like I feel like I was just spending way too much time on my phone and I was using music as a distraction, not like I wasn't actually just enjoying it for what it is. And it's just so addicting though, these things, because they make you feel good. You know, everybody loves a good song, everybody loves to be on their phone, but I don't know, for me at least, it led to unwanted consequences. Like I wouldn't want to get out of bed because I would just be on my phone all the time, or I just couldn't get started on things. Like I would tell myself, you know, one more song and then I'll get back to work or doing my homework, and I don't know, I feel like it was just getting in the way of my life. So the first rule in my detox was to stop using social media, and the only social media I have is Instagram, so I just avoided using Instagram unless I needed to use it. So I like posting like links to my videos, or sometimes I'll post stories promoting something, and that's the only time I allowed myself to go on Instagram. But other than that, you know, I wasn't scrolling on feed or anything like that. And my second rule was to stop listening to music and podcasts. Like, I know this sounds a little extreme, but it's actually much easier than you think. I just feel like I was always distracted by noise in the background. Like, I don't know, and I just became really irritated. And I only allowed myself to listen to music or listen to a podcast whenever I'm with my fiance. I don't really hang out with a lot of people, but he does tend to listen to like a lot of music and stuff. So whenever I'm with somebody, it's okay for me to listen to music, but whenever I'm by myself, I wouldn't allow myself to listen to anything. And lastly, in my detox, no online entertainment. So I wouldn't allow myself to watch any shows, any movies, or just any YouTube videos. And again, the rule here was like, I can watch these things when I'm with somebody, which in other words is just my fiance. But by myself, I wouldn't engage into these activities. I don't know, I just feel like, yes, movies are enjoyable and all these things, but this is just part of eliminating things that make me feel good. Okay, so my dopamine detox lasted a little bit over a month, and I noticed a lot of different changes in myself, but one thing I noticed in particular was just how much stronger my feelings are about everything. When I kind of just eliminated the sources of dopamine in my life that were like making a big impact, it kind of just let all my emotions flow. I just noticed myself much more emotional, and everything just feels so much more intense. Like any little argument that I have with my partner just felt stronger. Like everything just felt so much more serious. Conversations with people feel more serious. Things that I have happen to me or just thoughts in my head just feel much more serious. Everything just like, I feel like because I'm not distracted as much, I was able to focus a lot on the things that were happening around me and just what I'm actually feeling, because usually, again, we're using dopamine to just kind of cope with unwanted feelings that we have. So we kind of just put them away and like hope to never deal with them again. But when you don't have any distractions, if you're mad, you're gonna be mad, you know? But it also goes the same way on the other end. Like when I'm feeling good, I felt really good. And honestly, I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing to feel everything really intense. Like I'm a very anxious person, so my anxiety has also felt more intense. Um, but it just feels real. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm being more honest with myself, and beforehand, I was just kind of pretending to be okay. I don't know. By feeling everything much more stronger, it really allowed me to kind of put things into perspective. And because I wasn't distracted all the time, it also gave me so much time to just reflect on myself and the daily activities that I engage in. It really made me see like what are the things that I enjoy, how I truly feel about a lot of things, and along with that, it made me crave a lot of interactions with the people I love most. Like I feel like everyone loves to be around people that they love, right? But it made me really realize that, I don't like being on my phone as much as I thought I did. I don't like watching videos as much as I thought I did. Just engaging in anything online, like, isn't as fun as I thought. What I really craved was to, spend time with my partner, spend time with my dog, and just, I had this huge craving for meaningful interactions. It made me think so deeply about my life, and I don't know. I feel like everyone's a little different, but I get very deep with my thoughts, and I was just thinking about the fact that, oh my goodness, like I'm spending so much time watching meaningless content when I can be spending more time with my family, with my dog, or with my partner. And I wouldn't have realized this if I had all the distractions. So now that I didn't, all of this was just coming to light. Okay, and another thing, I noticed I was bored a lot. And I think for once, I've felt what it means to just be a human and just exist. All these things that we engage in have all been created by humans, phones, movies, all this stuff, video games. But when you eliminate all that, you realize like regular life doesn't have a lot to it. Like, I feel like society has made it sound like life should be a party and all this stuff, but really, regular life is just walking, doing your work, eating, and I don't know, there's nothing bad to engage in like video games and all this stuff, but what I am saying is I think being bored is something that needs to be normalized more. Society has led us to have these really high and just unrealistic expectations about life. And in the past, I used to have a huge problem with being bored. I was always thinking about the next move, what am I gonna do? As soon as I finish my homework, it was time to go to the gym. When I get back from the gym, time to clean my room, time to do something. And this made me realize, I don't always have to be doing something. And I definitely have a better relationship with boredom now. Something else I also noticed is I was more sleepy and tired than usual. Look, I'm a pretty sleepy person in general, but when you're not constantly distracted by things, you really realize how tired you are on a normal basis. I don't know what the science is behind this. I don't know if you guys can relate, but I was just finding myself taking so many naps. I think maybe it's just my brain getting used to the fact that it's not being stimulated constantly. I don't know, but I found myself really sleepy. And something really weird that I also noticed was like, I get so much anxiety from watching anything on a screen. Like, I get anxiety from watching a movie, a show, or even a YouTube video. Like, I don't know, it just kind of triggers a lot of anxiety in me. And this wasn't really an issue in the past, But since I wasn't engaging and watching these things as much, having them appear in my screen now, like, just made me feel weird. Like, I don't know, me and my fiance will watch a lot of stuff. On Netflix, for instance, we like watching Narcos and stuff. And I do like enjoy the show, but subconsciously, like, I feel really anxious for some reason. And I know this definitely isn't the case for everyone, but when I would engage in watching like entertainment constantly, like, I didn't feel as anxious. And now that like I've taken a break from it and then watched it again, I just feel weird. Like, I don't know, I just like I feel disconnected from reality in a way, because I don't know, I look into things way too much, and anytime I'm watching something, I'm just thinking behind my head like, this is fake, and automatically it just makes me feel some way. But I don't know, that was just my experience. I might just have really, really bad anxiety. And something I also noticed in my dopamine detox was that driving without music is actually really peaceful. And you guys have probably heard this before and you probably think it's BS, but no, seriously, it's really nice. Like, I don't know, I really like nature, and now that I drive without music, I actually really appreciate all my surroundings. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I have a lot of anxiety, but I just feel calmer, and it's nice to kind of just sit with your own thoughts sometimes. I feel like we never allow ourselves to have spontaneous thoughts because we're constantly distracting ourselves with something external. And it's nice to be able to kind of go on a drive and just kind of see what your mind comes up with. This dopamine detox made me really appreciate silence. Like, lately, I've just been in love with it. Before, I used to be a person who needed music all the freaking time. Like, I don't know, I needed music to study. I could never be in silence. Even taking a shower, like, I need to listen to music. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I love podcasts. Those are like my favorite thing ever. When I used to live alone, you know, when you live alone, things can get pretty boring. You feel really lonely, and a podcast just feels like something you need, right? And I don't think there was anything bad with it, but I could not do anything unless I was listening to something in the background. And I guess that's not entirely bad, right? But I just hate feeling like I'm dependent on something. So now, when I don't have to worry about the next song I'm going to choose or the next podcast and like being worried on whether or not it's going to be good, like, I just feel less anxious. And it made me realize how much like music and podcasts can actually trigger my anxiety. Like, not the music and podcasts themselves, but just they get me anxious. Like, having to choose another song, like, I'm sure some of you guys can relate, it can be kind of frustrating. And I don't know, but I feel like it's really important for all of us to kind of be in silence sometimes. I think it's really important, especially for being creative. Like, I don't think silence necessarily makes you creative, but it makes the environment for you to think in a creative way. And I don't know, if you're constantly being stimulated by external things, like, I think it's really hard to be creative. And, you know, this isn't a priority for everyone, but I know with myself, sometimes I'm having trouble, you know, having new ideas for like videos, or just thinking about things on how to solve my life. I don't know. And now that like I'm in silence, I can think more clearly. And I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this, but I've been able to focus much more better now. Like, I thought when people said, oh yeah, you're able to focus better, I didn't know how realistic that was or how true that was. But really, I've been able to focus on tasks that I don't like longer, like at work. I'm not super crazy about the work I do, but and sometimes I have a hard time working for more than 5 minutes. And now, you know, I can do 30 minutes of work, which for some people is nothing, but for me is a lot. And the only reason I can see why this is happening is because I'm not always on my phone, and I'm not always like listening to something. And it's just the truth. Like, I don't know what else changed in my life, but there's a correlation with just being more focused. So yeah, that's basically what I got from my dopamine detox. I know this can look really different for a lot of people, and I know some people are even more drastic with their detox. You know, they stop like drinking caffeine. That's something I could never stop doing. But you know, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think everyone at some point in their lives should kind of give it a shot, because a lot of people say they're not addicted to a lot of things, but they probably cannot go 24 hours without their phone. Like, I think it's just kind of a fun way to challenge yourself and see if it actually makes a difference in your life. I know for me at least, I'm probably never gonna engage in social media as much as I did in the past. And also, I'm not gonna listen to music all the time, and just kind of make this more of a lifestyle, because I genuinely like how it made me feel. And I don't know, as cringe as this may sound, it was a little bit of life changing. But yeah, that basically sums it up. Let me know what you guys think down below. And have you guys done your own version of a dopamine detox? What other benefits did you get from it? Or just are you able to relate with something I said? But yeah, that basically sums everything up. Okay, it was so fun making this video. I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye.